Hey, everybody. It's Monday night. It's Always Bookin Comedy. We got Jim Perry from Arizona in the
What's
house.
up?
How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good.
Good. You look like, oh, God, why can't I remember his name? From Princess Bride. The dread pirate, Scott. What's, do you know what I'm talking about? Dread
No,
pirate Roberts
I,
thing?
I'm guessing he's handsome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How's your weekend?
Good. I was actually out of town doing comedy. I was at Crackpots in Ohio.
Massillon, Ohio.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So Janelle, my wife, and my boys ran the club for me when I was gone, and I had a great time. I featured over there, and they asked me back to headline. So I'm very excited.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. How are the shows?
They were good. They were probably half packed. They're a real big football town,
Yeah.
so I think they're usually more busy. But as far as this weekend, I mean, I had a great time, but they were probably half as packed as they normally are compared to what I understood was what Chris told me.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
They got great food too. What do you think of the
and
food?
yeah, I had their cheeseburgers every night because it was actually fresh patties, so I was all
Yeah.
about it. And I
Nice.
saw him do an interview on your podcast here, which
Mhm.
actually helped me kind of prep conversation with him. So it was kind
Oh,
of funny
nice.
because
Look
I've
at that.
watched so many of your episodes now.
Yeah. What a tool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, everybody use that. I mean, I have like I want to say like 150 of these now. Maybe 125. It's crazy. I'm
Yeah, I
smart.
mean, if you're consistent and you're so good at being consistent and methodical, it's going to add up after a while.
I had no idea that 127 right now.
Wow.
Episodes. You're the 127th.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And how did things go in Gilbert, Arizona?
So we had four shows and three of them sold out, and then the Friday late show was half sold, according to my wife.
Okay, that's incredible. You
Yeah,
got
I mean
something really special going
we've
there.
really created a really, I think, fun neighborhood comedy club. I mean, you've been there, so I mean,
Yeah,
you got.
it's
I don't
outstanding. So
remember.
I don't
Yeah,
think maybe not everybody knows this, but
yeah,
you started JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert, Arizona. It's like a strip mall. It's in an
yeah.
old. It was a church, right? At one
Yeah.
point.
Well, let me back up even a
Yeah.
little further. So
Okay.
I started comedy about 10 years ago. I took a class, I got the bug, and the open mic scene just I'm an older person. I did all the party and stuff when I was earlier. It just wasn't my thing. So I immediately started producing shows, and I was producing shows at all the American Legions in Arizona, and got really good at that, but I got sick of like the travel and, as you know better than anybody, kind of like all the equipment and
Yeah.
everything.
Sure.
And then when COVID happened, I looked at it as an opportunity. I'm like, all the rent was low, businesses were going out of business, and I was like, you know what, this is the time to take a chance. So we there was a church, like you said, that had started there, and they were starting at that place and they were waiting for their building to open. And then when their building opened, the opportunity was there, and it was great because they had like the church chairs were there, the stage was there. I didn't do much to the
Chairs are
place.
very comfortable. I don't know what
Yeah,
people think church chairs are.
yeah,
To
yeah.
me,
Well,
they're
yeah,
better than church chairs. They're
but
like
I
fancy
think,
movie theater chairs,
yeah,
practically.
I think we took all the religion out of that room though, but that's okay. So,
So this is something I don't know anything about, like
yeah.
commercial real estate. Do you get a broker? How did you find that space? Were you attending that church? Do you walk by it? It's in a grocery store parking lot. Do you go to that grocery store? Like, how did that, how does that happen?
So I live in Gilbert, which is a suburb of Phoenix, and I know the town. The town is a grid, and I was just on the hunt for a space. So I literally was like just driving the grid of Gilbert, and I saw the for rent sign in the window. I called. The guy came to show me the space within 30 minutes because they were all like so desperate to
Oh,
find renters because people were all leaving because it was in the middle of COVID. And I looked at the space and I was like, this is perfect. I'm like, all I got to do is paint the inside of the room, get some more tables and chairs. And then what's funny in my room is the office was the pastor's office. I cut a hole and then made that the ticket room. And then the room was ready to go. The sound room was already there. and then the green room was their kitchen, so we made it the green room. But I
Mhm.
mean, it was a pretty turnkey operation. And then what was interesting with my room is because it was COVID, I applied for a liquor license and I did not get approved because everything was paused because of COVID.
Mm.
Well, what was weird was, in a good way, was all the comedy clubs started to close because they were considered bars. I wasn't a bar, so I was like the only comedy club open for like 3, 4, 5 months.
Incredible.
And we did all the spacing that you were supposed to
Yeah,
do, but all of a sudden, like everyone knew we existed because we were the only place to perform for a little bit.
right.
And it was funny too because we do the 2 item minimum, and I didn't have alcohol, and they're like, I got to buy 2 Gatorades, and I'm like, COVID, and they would totally do it. So, but and then once we got our liquor license, we already everyone knew who we were already,
That's
and
right.
I don't do much advertising anymore. I mean, I really hit the ground running. I'm real involved in my community. So I do a lot of stuff with the Chamber of Commerce. I do a lot of stuff with my church, and the community knows who I was before I ever started the club.
Okay.
So I mean, it just rapidly started. I mean, I tried the Facebook ads and the Google ads, but I feel like I'm burning money every time I do that.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I know that there's wizards at it, but I'm not very good at it.
right.
Um, and then as far as like getting like return customers, we do the email list, we hand out tickets, but we don't really sell many tickets. I mean, a lot of our room is paper. Probably 70-30 now. In the beginning, it was probably like 100% paper, but it's
Mhm.
starting to go the other way. But it
Okay.
all depends. Like with you, you have to sell the ticket.
Yeah.
We can make our money through the alcohol. So
Yeah, let me ask you about that because Arizona's got
yeah,
crazy alcohol rules.
yeah.
Tell me about the different liquor licenses and why did you choose the one you did? And can you change in the future? Would you want to? That kind of thing.
Well, ironically, they built another church next door, so I got grandfathered in. I don't think you can get a liquor license where I'm at now, but since I already had it and that church wasn't there, now we're okay. The license I have is called a beer and wine license. It's called a Series 7 license. I don't have much knowledge outside of Arizona. I learned this all based on what I did here. And what's I found interesting is that a liquor license here, at least the one I got, is like an asset. So we bought it off a golf course that wanted a full liquor license. They wanted to do full liquor, and I just wanted beer and wine. So we bought their license. I have that license so that if I ever choose to do this for so long and then transfer it, I can sell that. It's almost like a piece of real estate.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
a
liquor
cash medallion.
licenses, yeah, Series 7 liquor license cost me $40,000. And I heard that they're going for like 50 or 60 right now.
Wow.
So what's nice is I think the state doesn't like keep making them so
Yeah.
that the people that have them can kind of sell them. So
Yeah.
but it's been a learning curve. I mean, gosh, it's been such a learning curve. But the club has been open now for just over 5 years, and people love us. It's been great.
Yeah. So the weekend I was there, the shows were packed. It was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fun. You got it laid out just right. You got good lighting, good sound, and everything. If you had to at this point, you've improved so much.
yeah.
If you had to, like, what's your next? If you had like a major project, what would you do?
At the club,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I would just keep doing what we're doing. I
Okay.
mean, I don't want to expand. I mean, I'm in it for a lot different reasons. I'm also a comedian.
Yeah.
So my whole goal of the room is to have it break even, make a little bit of money. If this club had to pay my bills, I'd be in trouble. But because my motivation is just really to do comedy and make sure it's paying for itself, and also my kids are in college, I want somewhere for them to have somewhere to work.
Hmm.
Um, my motivation's a lot different. So I'm not looking to expand up more clubs or a bigger room. I like what we have,
Yeah.
and
How many
I
seats is it for the
we
audience?
sit 100. I mean, we've had 110 in there before. Um, and it's half of it's church chairs, and then the other half is chairs and tables. So it's 50-50, and then we've brought in like 10 folding chairs if it gets really packed, which I think we actually did when you were there.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me about this church that moved next door. What?
I don't know much about it. It's a non-denominational Christian church. I
Uh-huh.
mean, the comedy club, we do adult comedy, so they're not real into coming.
There's not a lot of
Um,
crossover
no.
clientele.
No, when I do comedy outside the club, I do church shows and I do a lot of corporates and casinos and stuff like that. But inside the club, really the people that come are the people that support us and understand what adult comedy is, and they're okay with what we're doing.
Yeah,
But we have a pretty religious sector of Gilbert too, and they're more into the improv comedy, and God bless them. I mean, to each his own. Comedy's subjective, but
sure.
um, yeah, we have more comedy fans that get what we're doing.
Yeah. Do you have seasonality? Like, what's your hottest time of the year? No pun intended.
We're pretty consistent. I hate sports. I mean, anytime a team goes into playoffs, I mean, then I feel it.
Yeah.
Um, if Phoenix is in the playoffs or something like that, I could feel it then. But we're pretty consistent. I don't notice a big difference with the snowbirds or anything like that. And it's probably because we only sit 100 people. I mean, the bigger clubs, I think they feel that more than I do. Um, I mean, we turn away people every weekend. Every weekend, we just don't have enough seats.
Mhm.
But again, I've had too many businesses in my life. I know not to expand too quick, and if you do, it's a whole nother thing, and then you ruin what you had. And it's not my motivation. My motivation is to, like I said, to do comedy, get my reps in, support the local comedy scene, have somewhere for my kids to work, and it's perfect. And then if I leave, it's not too big for my wife and kids to handle when I'm gone, when I'm touring. So I like where I'm at right now. I
It's
really
pretty
do.
incredible how lean your staff is. So
Yeah,
for like,
it's just my wife services that whole room. It's 100 people for alcohol. We don't do food. I mean, we do like snacks, like
yeah,
candy bars and stuff. And then my kids run the sound. But yeah, that's it.
yeah, that's wild. So basically, 3 employees, sometimes only two, and
Yeah, yeah,
100,
yeah, for sure.
customers. That's wild. I mean, I go to like a 200-300 seat comedy club, and they have almost 20 staff.
Yeah, I don't understand how they make the numbers work, but I mean, at the same time, you saw how we do it. We have everyone line up at the counter,
Yeah,
and then they get one drink and then they get a chip for their second drink. And then they go to their table. We don't do check drop, and then when they're ready for their second drink, they give us a chip. We really try not to push more than two drinks. I'm a retired police officer. I don't want to deal with drunks,
yeah,
and it's an hour and a half show. I don't want the show to be about getting drunk. I want it to be about the comedy.
yeah,
And what I like about making the people line up is that it creates everyone that drives by sees a line out the door every weekend, even if it were not full, but they
yeah,
have to line up. So it's really to the point. So we don't do the check drop. We take care of everything. And you sat in the office and saw it. Maybe I'm hoping
yeah.
I'm explaining it correctly.
Yeah, yeah, I think the highlight there is that people pay for their drinks before they get to their seats. They basically
Yes,
walk in, they get one of their drinks or maybe both, pay for their entire tab right then, and then they go to their seat and there's a process with a chip to get a second drink later if you want. Let's
correct.
we might come back to the comedy club stuff, but I want to talk more
Sure.
about you. And so
Yeah.
you were a cop. How does that influence your comedy?
So I was a police officer for about 10 years. I got hurt. I now own a security company. That's kind of my bread and butter as far as paying my bills. And then my what my wife calls my third midlife crisis is the club. So, but as far as like I think you need a niche. I mean, I think you got to stand out. I mean, I talk a lot about you've heard my act. I talk about my kids and my being married and stuff, but I think that kind of material, can be done by a lot of people. So I like that I have the background of being a military veteran and being a police officer and talking about things that not everyone could talk about. And I think it helps me stand out. I mean, one of the things I like about my comedy and my goal in comedy is that if I do my act, no matter if it's 5 minutes or 45 minutes, when I get off stage, they're going to know who I am. They're going to know I'm married, I have kids, I was in the service, I was a cop, and I like that connection. Um, and then, I mean, being a police officer, I mean, you get some crazy stuff that happens. And, you know, I'm not one that really talks about the horrific stuff. I talk about the silly stuff. And I can tell when I talk about police work, when I do comedy, the people kind of lean in because it's different and they want to hear. So I think that niche has helped me a lot.
Nice. That's awesome. Have you done any so those niches, there's different ones. There's nurses, there's teachers, there's these are
Yeah.
like comedy groups that are around the country.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done
The
plenty of
top
like,
ones. Have you
yeah.
done some of those?
Yes, I have. I've done a lot of like benefit shows and like shows that are all about law enforcement, first responders. And I'm
I
pretty
gotta
known in that community. Yeah.
I got a question about that. So let's say you show up to a show and you don't know the other comedians, but all 3 or 4 of you are former police officers. Do you have to watch the show to make sure you don't step on other people's jokes? Like, and is
If
that
you're smart, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's comics. Well, that's like a comedy in general, right? I mean, I
Yeah, but
always,
it's less, likely to happen, right?
yeah,
If you're because people can talk about anything. They could be gardeners, they could be, business people, but if it's cop, cop, cop,
yeah.
then, the material is gonna be kinda similar. And I wonder if you like, do you game plan ahead of time? Like, "Hey, do you have a taser joke?" Or
Well, I have enough material. You talk a little bit in the green room and have that mutual respect, depending on how open those comics are. But I always personally just listen to the show until I go up. And then I can either, tag what they said, expound on that, even if it is similar premise, or, oh, that's pretty close to what realm of a joke I have. I have enough material where, you just change the way you're going to go and then talk about that. But to me, I think with any comedy, you should listen to the guy before you,
yeah.
or you're gonna step on some stuff
Yeah,
possibly.
or something that could happen in the audience even.
We've had it at the club where like, everyone's up there going, how long you been married? And we had one
Yeah.
time where the lady was like, they've been married 7 years, they've been married 3 years. Go ahead with your joke. Like it's like, yeah, you gotta listen or you're gonna embarrass yourself.
Yeah, you look silly. Have you ever, this is kind of a different topic, back to the comedy club. Have you ever had to replace a headliner mid-weekend or any kind of lineup change? And how do you navigate that?
I've had people cancel at the last minute, and my club, I don't know, people have called it like a B club or even a C club. I don't know what the classifications are. We're definitely not like a corporate gigantic club that's hiring comedians that are from television that like I always like to say that my wife would know. Like my wife knows who this comedian is because he's on such and such show. So the
Mhm.
good thing about our club is that people don't come because of what's on the website or who's on the flyer. They trust that we're going to give them a good show for their dollar.
Mhm.
And because of that, I have had cancels last minute and nobody even says anything. Um, they don't even notice,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. But I'm not one that even wants to kind of deal in that realm of comedy because then I feel like I'd be stepping on toes of other clubs. I
Sure.
kind of like if you're a really strong feature, you'll be a great headliner in our room. And
Yeah.
our headliners only do like 20, 30-minute sets because we're a showcase club.
Uh-huh.
I think the attention of people is going away anyway. So I like the showcase style. Don't hear me wrong. I'm not talking about those shows that everyone's doing 3 5 minutes and there's 25 comics. But
Right.
we'll have 4 or 5 people on a lineup. I mean, you were just on a show. I think we had like 4 or 5 comics.
Mhm.
But no, I haven't really had any trouble with
So,
getting a replacement. And then I got
yes,
enough.
that was
Yeah.
replacement. I mean more like maybe a headliner is drunk or a feature, I don't know, is inappropriate or have you
Oh,
had I mean, you've been running for 5 years. I'm sure you've seen some things.
well, I'll say this without saying a name. We
Of
had
course.
one comic that we had a disagreement. I'll say that, and he was a bit rude to the other comics and the staff. And remember, the staff is my family, so so we paid him, and he was politely asked to leave, and we replaced him. Yeah,
Okay. With
happened
another
once.
comic on the lineup, or you just called somebody and said, "Hey, are you available?" Or text.
Actually, there was a guy on the lineup that can easily do 20, 30 minutes, so we just had him, and nobody even noticed. I
Yes.
no one even noticed.
Yeah. Have you ever had somebody have to follow a headliner, like, with material because the headliner didn't do well?
You mean go after the headliner?
Yeah.
No, I've never done that. No, we've never had that happen. I mean, I go at the end and just say thank you for coming, kind of like a host, normal host duties. But no, we've never had to like clean up that big of a mess just yet.
Okay. That's
And I
great.
mean, I'm pretty good at booking now. The first year was tough, but I really was getting bamboozled by tapes and stuff. Now it's like they have to have a good tape and a rec.
Yeah.
And now I've really avoided a lot of those problems. In the beginning, like, these guys will have, everyone has a great night and you happen to get it on tape, or you get these guys that sweeten their tapes and I don't realize it.
Yeah.
Um, that first year, I'd say the first 6 months, I just learned so much. And then like I realized, oh, and even a rec isn't enough for me anymore. Like you have to be wrecked and I see a good tape. Because
Yeah.
too many guys will wreck people that are their friends too and
Yeah.
are trying to take care of their friends. So
Right.
that's kind
That's
of how
great.
I go about it. And I get way too many emails. I mean, I
I'm
think
sure.
any booker or owner would probably say that you get so many emails. It's like it's impossible to navigate it all. So I have like a two-step process now.
Huh. Do you if you could time travel back, I used to always ask people this question, like if you go back to when you started comedy, what would you change? But for you, I'm interested, if you went back 5 years to when you started the club, is there anything you would change? Like maybe you figured it out along the way, but if you could give yourself a hint back then.
Probably more about sales. Like silly stuff adds up. Like in the beginning, we would just do like the two items. And then in the last year, maybe even 2 years, we've been like just announcing that we sell t-shirts, or we ask people after they buy their drinks, would you like a snack?
Mhm.
And I started doing the math and I was like, holy cow, just me asking or announcing a couple things was really changing the bottom line and the numbers. So really, no matter how much I love comedy and how much I want to perform and how much I want to watch it, I got to remember, when you have that customer, make sure that you're getting all the sales that you can get from that customer.
Right.
Another thing, like with my wife being the waitress, like in the beginning, like if she saw somebody with a soda that was half full, she wouldn't ask them if they wanted a second or third drink.
Mm.
She would assume they wouldn't want it. And I said, you know what? Let's try not assuming, let's just ask him anyway. And all of a sudden the numbers started to go up. So I think the biggest thing would be in the beginning is sales approaches. And then of course, um, having recs with those tapes. So
Yeah. Have you had the same point of sale system, credit card, merchant, whatever that's called, the whole time?
I started with uh Clover. I
Okay.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, Clover. And then I started looking at the numbers of the money that they were getting per transaction, and it's crazy. I mean, those companies make a lot of money. So we just recently in the last year switched to GoDaddy, and they were the best deal out there.
They have a
I
physical terminal or
Yeah, they have and a
huh,
lot of people don't know it's very new, and they're saving us a lot of money. Now, with that said, if you are one that's out there that may switch to GoDaddy, because I had a good experience, keep in mind these companies change their terms all the time. They get you in, and then all of a sudden it changes. So you have to be actively watching this stuff and looking at that bottom line. And when it does change, be willing to change and be
right.
careful of the contracts you sign.
Yeah. We got an incredible question from Mark in North
Yeah,
Carolina here.
yeah,
Does reputation or lack of in the beginning cause challenges booking comedians? So basically, you're a brand new upstart club. Is it hard to convince somebody to come and headline your room?
yeah. If they're gonna come in as a headliner, again, I'm pretty strict about having a rec and a good tape.
I think this is like the begin, like your first year.
Yeah, your first year in comedy. Well,
No,
we
no, your
kind of
first year
have.
with the club open. Was it hard to get headliners to travel to you?
Oh, for me. Oh, I see. No, I mean, there's a line out the door for comics. I mean, it's
Okay.
never.
Even
And you
from
got to
day one.
remember what's that?
Even from day one.
Oh yeah, especially when I was the only one open during
Yeah,
COVID
I guess
for a
that
short
helped.
term. And
Yeah.
then remember too that our headliners only do 20 or 30 minutes, which I selfishly like because it's a lot easier to find a guy that's funny for 20 to 30 minutes
Mm,
than to find a guy that's 45 to an hour.
yeah.
And I also like that we're in a position to give those guys the headlining experience and the confidence to move on in their careers.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did that
Uh,
answer that question? I'm not sure.
yeah, I think so. I think the kind of big part is your first year in business because of COVID and liquor restrictions. You were the only comedy club open in the metro Arizona area because
Yeah.
of a quirk, and so
Yeah.
that obviously helped you quite a bit.
Yeah, in a weird way, it helped us. I mean, it wasn't planned, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was planned that I thought, I'll give you a personal story. This is good finance advice for people. This worked for me. I'm not saying to do this, but remember when 2008 happened and the
Mhm.
market crashed?
Mhm.
My wife and I, we went out and bought a bunch of cheap houses when that happened, and we rented them, and then we flipped them when the market went back to normal.
Yeah.
And my point is, when everyone is running one way, if you got a business brain, just be willing to look the other way, because a lot of times there's opportunities. And I felt that COVID was an opportunity. Obviously, it was a terrible time for our country and for the world. But as far as like rent and everyone, the sky is falling. It's like, okay, well, where is a lot of people got rich during COVID. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people realize that.
Huh.
Um, and you got to be looking the other way sometimes.
Yeah. Well, certainly like online things like Zoom.
Yeah, for sure.
Club, yeah. Have any of the comedians that have been through your club turned into comedians that your wife knows? Has that
Well,
happened yet?
our best story would be Michael Longfellow. He headlined our club 3, 4 times. Very nice guy. We love that guy. And if you don't know, he's on Saturday Night Live now.
And he's
Um,
from Arizona, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't think he'd return our call now, but but I mean, I think that's our coolest story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta take photos of that stuff. I
Yeah,
think
we have his name on the wall. And we have a bunch of pictures and
that's
clips of him, but
that's
he's a
cool.
great guy, funny guy, and we're very happy for him. We watch all the episodes, but he's probably our biggest thing that we've seen through the club. Yeah.
That's
But
amazing.
anyone my wife would recognize, yeah, the answer would be no. And then, you know what the thing is too with comedy, and I don't know if you agree, even people that are on the Tonight Show or have all these
Yeah,
credits,
nobody
it
knows it.
they still don't they people my wife, we might know them because we're
Yeah,
in comedy,
yeah,
but like the regular ticket buyer, a lot of times they don't.
yeah, yeah. You take, like Shane Gillis is
Yeah,
probably one of the biggest comedians in America right
my
now.
wife wouldn't know him if she wasn't working at a comedy club or
Yeah.
she didn't hear his podcasts
If you
in the
go into
background at
like
the house.
a grocery store or a Home Depot and ask 10 people, or even showed a picture. I mean, he's in like NFL beer commercials,
Yeah,
and people don't know who he is, but he's
Mark.
making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, Mark Norman's like my favorite comedian right now,
Mhm.
and nobody in my life knows even who he is, and it's
Yeah,
just kind of funny. And he
yeah,
sells out theaters, you know.
yeah. I mean, he does great. He's
Yeah,
killing it. Yeah, it
but
is
like
it's a
you
little
asked my
depressing.
cousin.
It's a little depressing from a personal, I don't know, development as a comedian to think, you could get to that level and still nobody's really going to know who you are. On the other hand, that's kind of nice, right? You get some anonymity, you
Yeah,
know?
as if you're going to be famous, that's not a bad way to be famous. You can walk down the street, go to the grocery store, and you're still selling out theaters. That, to me, that's probably the best level of fame. I hope you and I get to figure that out one day.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
We're just slowly
I'm
inching
still
there.
trying to sell out a comedy club next to a suspicious massage parlor, so
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. Well, this has been great, Jim. Are there any other topics you wanted to cover?
Jesus, are we already through it, man?
We're
That was a
like,
quick half
we're,
hour.
we're winding down. We can hang out for a couple more minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to hit us up, I mean, you can say you saw us here. We trust Mark's opinion. You could use Mark as your rec, send me a tape, and start in as a guest spot.
Okay.
Um, and then, yeah, as far as the club, you can follow all the stuff at the club at jpscomedyclub.com. And then if you'd like to start, follow my comedy, I do comedy as well. You can follow my comedy at thecopcomic.com. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm in a good season of life right now. I'm pretty happy and I'm pretty content and I'm excited to see what happens. I've been meeting great people like you, and I'm
Mhm.
sure your viewers know Mark runs great shows and he's a good comic. He's a funny guy.
Yeah. The third
Yeah.
midlife crisis is treating you well.
Yeah, thank you.
You get credit to your wife for coming up with that one.
Oh, God bless her.
Yeah, that's a good one. Give me a you got a goal for 2026? We're a little past halfway through 2025, so like a whole year from now, like year and a half. What are you trying to?
My dream in comedy, and a lot of comics would probably laugh at this dream. I just want to do cruise ships.
Okay.
That would be my end goal because I would like to travel with my wife and have the cost of traveling not be as expensive. But
Uh-huh.
I'd like to run the club. My son's in business management in college, and I'd like to see him manage the club and step back a little bit and maybe travel once a month doing comedy around the country and do cruise ships. And a lot of those goals I'm getting pretty close to those.
Yeah.
So that's probably my hope for the future.
Okay. Well, maybe
Yeah.
we'll tape again in 2026, and we'll
Yeah, we'll
check in
see.
on that. Have you watched the Always Bookin Comedy episode? That
I've
was
watched every episode you've done.
well. Then you've seen it. We
Yeah.
have an episode with a cruise
You
ship.
have quite a few of the cruise ship guys. Yeah.
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 Cool. Well, Jim,
Yeah.
thanks so much. Hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, for
Thanks
sure.
everybody for tuning in. We'll be back
Hi
next week.
guys.